Dear learners and viewers, welcome you all to our today's presentation for the BBA, Regular MBA and Commonwealth Executive MBA students of School of Business, Bangladesh Open University. Our today's presentation is concentrated on the meaning of cost, the difference between cost and expense, types of cost and the explanation of cost with examples. Dear learners, hope you are ready with necessary papers and pen. If not, may I request you to bring some papers and a pen now and keep them with you so that you can jot down the important parts of this program during broadcast. Let us go to our today's discussion. First of all, the meaning of cost. Cost is defined as a value or sacrifice made to acquire goods and services measuring taka by reduction of assets or increase of liabilities at the time of benefits are acquired. In short, we can say that cost is the exchange value of acquiring something. Let us make the concept of cost clear with a practical example. Suppose you have purchased a mobile card for taka 300. This taka 300 is exchanged or sacrificed to acquire the asset mobile card. So, this taka 300 is cost. Now, we discuss the difference between cost and expense. You see, cost can be classified into two groups. These are unexpired cost and expired cost. Unexpired costs are also called assets, and when the benefits of unexpired cost is used, then the cost becomes expense. And if the unexpired cost can generate benefits, then these are called assets, and if the unexpired cost can generate no benefits, then these are called loss. Let us make the difference between cost and expense clear with the previous example of mobile card. If the balance of the same card remains taka 100 after 1 day or 2 day use, then the consumed or used amount of taka 200 is expense. Let us see the major points of differences between cost and expenses. Costs are incurred when assets are acquired. On the other hand, expenses are incurred when assets are consumed or used. Costs are the summation of all expenses. Expenses are all costs other than materials and wages, or expired costs are also known as expenses. The examples of cost include prepaid insurance or other prepaid expenses. Examples of expenses are office and administrative expenses, selling and distribution expenses, etc. Now, we discuss the types or classifications of cost. There are various ways of classifying cost. The most important ways of classifications are functional areas, volume of production or cost behavior, and decision making. At first, we discuss the cost classifications on the basis of functional areas. This is a traditional classifications, and on this basis costs are classified into two broad categories. These are manufacturing cost and non-manufacturing cost. Manufacturing cost consists of direct materials, direct labor and manufacturing overhead. Direct materials and direct labor constitute prime cost. Direct labor and manufacturing overhead constitute conversion cost. Non-manufacturing cost, on the other hand, are of two types. These are administrative cost and another is marketing cost. Let us discuss this manufacturing and non-manufacturing cost in details. First of all, manufacturing cost. Manufacturing costs are incurred for manufacturing or producing a product. So, these costs are also named as production or factory cost. Now, direct materials. Direct materials are those raw materials input that can be directly and physically associated with the finished product during the manufacturing process. For example, wood for making furniture, flour for making bread, steel for making automobiles, hard drives, processing chips for computer, etc. But there are some other raw materials which are not directly associated with the finished product, but are used to support the production process. For example, lubricants, cleaning supplies, etc. Now, we discuss direct labor. Direct labor consists of that portion of labor cost which can be easily traced to a product. For example, the wages paid to carpenter of a furniture manufacturing house, bakers of a bakery, bottlers of a soft drink, etc. In contrast, wages paid to the maintenance people, timekeepers, supervisors, etc. are also named as indirect labor. Now we discuss the manufacturing overhead. Manufacturing overhead consists of all manufacturing cost other than direct materials and direct labor. The examples of manufacturing overhead are indirect materials, indirect labor, factory rent, factory repairs and maintenance, factory utilities like gas, power or electricity, etc., factory depreciation, factory insurance, etc. Now we discuss the non-manufacturing cost. At first, administrative cost. Administrative costs are those costs which are incurred in formulating the policy, directing the organizations and controlling the operation of an organization. For example, office salaries, office rent, audit fees, legal expenses, directors remuneration, etc. Now the marketing cost. Marketing costs are those costs which are incurred to perform the marketing functions, that is order getting and order filing. So these costs are also called selling and distribution cost. The examples of marketing cost are advertising, salaries and commission of salesmen, uncollectible expense, showroom expense, sample, travel expense, etc. Distribution cost on the other hand include packing cost, carriage outward, warehousing cost, upkeep and running cost of delivery vans, depreciation of delivery van. Now we discuss the cost classifications on the basis of volume of production or the behavior of cost. On this basis, cost can be classified into three broad categories. These are variable cost, fixed cost and mixed cost. At first, variable cost. Variable costs are those costs which tend to vary in direct proportion to the volume of production or level of activity. In other words, we can say that when the volume of production or the level of activity increases, then the total variable cost also increases and vice versa. But the variable cost per unit remains constant. You see, for example, the variable cost per unit is taka 2. Assume that this taka 2 is per unit mobile phone call cost and this is fixed as a per unit basis no matter how many minutes you talk. If you talk 1000 minutes, then the total cost will be taka 2000, and if you want to talk more 500 minutes, that is 1500 minutes, then the total cost will vary from taka 2000 to taka 3000. So the total variable cost is increasing with the increase of level of activity. That is why we can say the total variable cost is linear with the level of activity. For example, direct materials, direct labor or wage, power, fuel, sales commission, etc. Now fixed cost. Fixed costs are those costs which remain fixed in total and do not increase or decrease when the volume of production or the level of activity changes, but the fixed cost per unit decreases when the volume of production increases. For example, you see the total fixed cost is taka 50,000 and it is fixed at all levels of production or level of activity, but the fixed cost per unit decreases when you want to produce more units. Suppose if you produce 20,000 units, then the fixed cost per unit will be taka 50,000 divided by 20,000, that is taka 2.5, and if you want to produce more 5,000 units, that is 25,000 units, then the fixed cost per unit will decline from taka 2.5 to taka 2. So we see here that the fixed cost per unit decreases when the level of activity or the volume of production increases. For example, factory rent, depreciation of factory building, managerial salaries, building insurance, municipal tax, etc. Now we discuss the mixed cost. Mixed costs are of two types. One is semi-variable cost and another is semi-fixed cost. And the examples of semi-variable cost are indirect labor, repairs and maintenance, telephone expenses, light and power, etc. Now, the semi-fixed cost. Fixed cost is constant over a range of volume, and if the volume increases beyond the given range, then the fixed cost begins to increase. Here we can cite the examples of supervision cost with the number of workers. Here you see, for supervising up to 10 workers, the supervision cost is taka 200, and for supervising more 10 workers, that is for supervising 20 workers, it requires the supervision cost of taka 400, and for supervising 30 workers, it requires the supervision cost of taka 600, and for 40 workers, it requires 800. So, you see the supervision cost is increasing step by step with the increase of number of workers. So, it is also called step cost. Dear learners, now we discuss the cost classifications on the basis of decision making. On this basis, cost can be classified into different categories. Here we discuss the important ones. At first, relevant and irrelevant cost. Relevant costs are those costs which are associated with a particular decision, and to be relevant, a cost must be of future. It must change as a result of a particular current decisions, and it must differ between alternatives. Irrelevant costs, on the other hand, are those costs which are incurred in the past and do not affect the decision making. Now, we discuss the sunk cost. Sunk costs are those costs which have been incurred in the past and cannot be changed by present or future decision. Let us make the concept of sunk cost clear with a practical example. Suppose 2 years ago you purchased a private car for taka 10 lakh. This taka 10 lakh cost is sunk, because whether you drive it, park it, sell it or trade it, you cannot change this taka 10 lakh. So, investment of plant assets are prime examples of sunk cost. In other words, we can say the unrealized portion of book value of a plant asset are also sunk cost. Now, the opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the potential benefit that is given up when one alternative is selected over another. Opportunity cost is a pure decision making cost and is not in the books of account. Let us make the concept of opportunity cost clear with a practical example. Suppose your machine can produce either product X or product Y at a time, and product X can generate monthly revenue of taka 12,000 and product Y can generate taka 10,000. And if you decide to produce product X, then the loss of revenue from product Y, that is taka 10,000, will be the opportunity cost of product X. Now, we discuss the controllable cost and non-controllable cost. Controllable costs are those costs which may be regulated at a given level of management authority. Variable costs are usually controllable by departmental heads. Non-controllable costs, on the other hand, are those costs which cannot be influenced by the action of a specified member of an organization. Fixed costs are usually non-controllable costs. Let us see the examples of controllable and non-controllable costs. Controllable costs include stationery expenses, entertainment expenses, etc. Non-controllable costs, on the other hand, include factory rent, managerial salaries, building insurance, etc. Now, we discuss standard cost and budgeted cost. Standard costs are predetermined costs under given operating condition. A manufacturing enterprise usually determines standard cost for direct materials, direct labor and manufacturing overhead. Standard costs are usually used as a basis for formulating budgets. Budgeted costs, on the other hand, are those costs which are expected to be incurred for planned activities of an organization for a specific period of time, usually 1 year. Now, we discuss the committed cost and discretionary cost. You know, committed cost and discretionary cost are parts of fixed cost. Committed costs are the results of the company's past commitments in fixed asset and other long term activities. Discretionary costs, on the other hand, are those costs which are the results of the management discretion and policy. That is, the amounts of these costs are periodically decided by the management. So, these costs are also called programmed or managed cost. Now, we see the examples of committed cost and discretionary cost. The examples of committed cost are depreciation, plant insurance, building rent, etc. And the examples of discretionary cost are research and development, donations, advertising, training cost, etc. Now, we discuss the differential cost. Differential costs are of two types, one is incremental cost and another is decremental cost. Incremental cost is the changes of cost due to the changes in the level of activity or the pattern or method of production. Or in other words, differential cost is the difference in total cost of two alternatives, and if the changes increases the cost, then it is known as incremental cost, and if the changes decreases the cost, then it is known as decremental cost. Now, we discuss other two important costs. One is product cost, another is period cost. Product cost are those costs which are incurred for production and which will not be incurred if there is no production. Product costs are also called manufacturing cost. On the other hand, period costs are those costs which are incurred not for production, but for a specific period of time and are written off in the period in which these are incurred. Let us see the major differences between product cost and period cost. Product costs are incurred for production, on the other hand period costs are incurred for a time period. Product costs do not affect profit until goods have been sold. Period costs on the other hand deduct profit immediately. Product costs are carried forward to the next accounting period, but period costs are written off in the period in which these are incurred. All product costs are included in the inventory, but all period costs are not included in the value of inventory. The examples of product cost are direct materials, direct labors, manufacturing overhead, etc. And the examples of period cost are sales commission, rent, salary of company executives, travel expenses, etc. Dear learners, hope you have understood our today's presentation. If you have any problems or queries regarding our today's presentation, you can consult your textbook or the concerned tutors. No more today. See you the next class. Till then, Allah Hafiz.